So over the years, we have become best friends on that because I would have to go down to his office and say, what time of the day is it there now? So I know to call the person. And he would ask me questions, I would just be clinical questions, and he would give me the information back. So it became kind of a joke amongst us because I thought, sure, I'll call them, one, whatever the number is, this, and then he has no clue. So I have to thank him for that. It was a joke amongst us and really was fun, and I learned a lot. I haven't learned other languages, but I know where to call if I have a patient who's not from the United States and culture.
So I want to just focus on three things. I've known Joe for 25 years. I guess Bernard Levine and I first got Joe Rustum together, Joe Rustum and I together back in the earlier days, the 5 of you were born and things like that. But when I came here, Joe's literally first words were, what can I do? And I think that the number one thing I would say is that Joe has absolutely been a servant of the institution. He's put himself and his own interests aside to do good and to do work for the institution and to help people here, just without fail, as much as anyone that I can think of. And that's just been true over and over again. For those of you that were spared some of the trials and tribulations of about 10 years ago, Joe was also one of the people that displayed the second characteristic, as many of you have here that have some gray hair along with me, and that is the characteristic of loyalty. Joe was loyal at a time in which that was an extremely important commodity, and without which we would not have made it through some of the complex changes that have occurred here at the Institute. The third characteristic, and by far the most important one of those three, is friendship. Joe's a friend to many, others of you have alluded to it. We became friends some time ago, and then Joe was among the very first to host me in the Synod here at Buffalo, and we fell in love with both of them. I have no, but both Joe and Lorraine. Both my wife and I did. We've had the pleasure of traveling the world a bit with Joe, and that is an extraordinary pleasure if you've not experienced Joe as a travel companion and host. I will never in my life forget doing Rio de Janeiro with Joe. The joy of getting to know the city. Joe has relatives all over the world. And Joe's nephew is a physician in Rio who took off a week to serve as our tour guide. What an incredible treat. Now, on the other hand, the joy of that was certainly in excess of the success of the UICT meeting that year. Certainly was. You're traveling in Rio and being with more of Joe's relatives than there were that attended my lecture at UICT. That's an excellent comparison. So, Joe, thank you for all of it, and most of all, for the friendship, which I know will continue as long as we're alive. Thank you.
It's always a scary experience following David. And doing Rio de Janeiro, David, I'm going to turn around. Joe and I go back a lot more than most of you realize, a lot further than most of you realize. And the fact is, we were trained by the same PhD advisor at UP, Eric Barnard, who is left, now a member of the Royal Society in Buffalo. My early day recollections of Joe was this mane and hair, fast-moving mane and hair travel. I was completely intimidated by him. always stayed away from them. To my horror, when I came to Roswell afterwards, I found out I was in the same department as him. And through that common bond and through shared interest in humor and other things, we developed quite a respect for one another and a great friendship, which I'm very proud of and very pleased to have. But for those of you who realize that I've known Joe for so long, are looking for some sort of insight into what makes this man tick and why he behaves the way he does, I have to tell you, I have no idea. He remains a mystery to me as much as he is to you. But I do know that he prides himself on both the bold and the unexpected in both his leadership role and in his science. And as you know, Joe was doing translational research long before it was known as that. In fact, at that time, it was known as transcriptional research. And I'm kidding, laugh. It's a step before translation. Truly he was. Henry has already alluded to the many contributions that he's made clinically. And as when I was leader of the experimental therapeutics program, I could always look to Joe to pull a rabbit out of his clinical hat and give me a fresh slide and presentation to show to these EAB people and to the CCSG. And it always made us all look much better, and I was always indebted to him for that. Despite his flair for the unpredicted and so forth, there are many consistent things with Joe, and David touched on one that I'm most familiar with, and that is loyalty. And it's not only loyalty to employees that have worked for him, but to friends, and most important of all, to the Institute. And therein lies, I think, the secret to his success. He remained loyal. Many of us have proclaimed it over the years as being loyal, but this man has done it consistently and with spirit for the past 37 years. So, Joe, you're a wonderful resource at the Institute, and I thank you for your friendship and all that you've done for the Institute.
My first experience with Joe Rustum was the first day that I interviewed here many years ago when I was very green here at Roswell Park. And I came expecting a singular interview, only to find out that I was scheduled for a full day of interviews, ranging from Dr. Tom Masi to Garth Anderson to Joe Rustum. So I have a broad range of exposures to people here at Roswell. What impressed me with Joe Rustum from the very beginning and throughout all my years of experience with him has been his commitment to supporting a greater vision. He was supportive of genetics from the very beginning. He's a strategist, and he certainly helped mentor me through the years. And he has a spirit of joy and commitment to excellence that permeates everything he does. And he loves life, and I couldn't help but laugh when Judy Smith mentioned that he's a gentleman and a scholar, and then added a third element, and I reflected on what my father used to say when I was growing up, and he had his own little twist to the end of that. A gentleman and a scholar and a judge of fine liquor, which I apparently and or a gentleman and a scholar and a judge of fine women, which we know that Dr. Wilson has. He enjoys his relationship. Overall, he's a wonderful individual, a great scholar, and I think quite an asset to this institution, and we're all very pleased that he's still here.
Well, the floor is still open if there are those who want.
I want to thank Dr. Rustum on behalf of all the science departments at Roswell. I think he was instrumental